I'm talking here with Gail Holmquist. Gail is going to be our first person that we'll be honoring for her outstanding work and all the help that she's done for BCT in making us a vibrant entity in Wright County. And also, I'm very honored because I feel Gail to be a very good friend and just a marvelous person. And so, first I'm going to ask you, Gail, is how did you get started with BCT?
Well, of course, I played the piano.
Do you remember the first show that you did for BCT?
No, and it was not Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It was the next one.
Could that have been Brigadoon?
Was
Did
that
you
what
do
it
that?
was? Yes, I did Brigadoon.
Okay.
I did Brigadoon. Yeah.
Well, I won't ask you to name all the shows you've been involved in because I know that's quite a few. But do you have a favorite show that you really like?
I think I liked them all. They were all different, so there was a lot of, there was always something different to think about in each show. And
What was the most difficult one that you had?
most difficult
for
was
music?
the Pirates of Penzance, I think, because that was classical writing, and it required this kind of finger work, and I was busy the whole time, and but it was well worth it. There were others that were difficult just because of the way they were written, and Mike Walsh would come over and bring his recording, and he'd turn the pages for me because they wanted to record the dances and songs without me having to come there. So he would set his recording stuff up. I would be sitting at the piano over there, and he would turn pages for me. He got very good at turning pages. And I can remember one hilarious time when there was probably 2 or 3 lines, and it was identical. I am. And you go forever, and it's the same chord, the same, and we kept getting so mixed up. So finally at the end, we were going to quit and give it up to another time. And let's try it again. So this time he pointed right at each measure as I played it. And we made it. And boy, when we made that one, yoo-hoo! Hey, we did it. So there are lots of funny times that way. Yeah. Mike was very patient, and so we did a lot of laughing during those rehearsals.
Well, talking about that, does that remind you of any funny other incidences happened during the shows?
During the shows, I'm sure there were. And I know that there were funny incidents on stage, but I was so busy looking at the music and looking at Mike that what happened on stage was on this side of me, and so I missed a lot of that kind of hilarious stuff. You know, you have to remember the orchestra never saw the show, and if I dared to look up at the show or anybody else in the orchestra, why, you'd sure miss your next entrance. You get interested in it. Whew.
Oh, sure.
But I know there was one, and it seemed like it was when Ann Brummer, and who was the guy? I could sing higher, I could sing higher, I could sing higher. What was the name of that?
Annie, get your gun.
Yeah. And there was one time in that show, and I do believe that the male lead, and I can't remember his name, Dan somebody, ended up, I'm not sure, but I think he sang one verse where there should have been another verse, So Mike was left correcting that. So, you know, what the piano player does is you just keep going, you know. You never stop playing. Mm-mm. Never stop. So it turned out just fine.
Well, there's probably an incident that you do remember. Remember stepping out.
Oh, yes, I remember. Aaron Walsh will never forget, let me forget, my first stage appearance, and turned out to be my last when I was Mrs. Fraser, who was the accompanist for this dancing class. Xana was the teacher. And I was drinking carrot juice for some reason or other. And I think somebody had spiked my carrot juice, theoretically. And I came out of the backstage walking like, you know, and evidently I did a good job of it because they couldn't imagine how I knew how a drunk person would really walk. And I said, oh, doing what comes naturally.
I see. Having a little rest, are we? We thought you'd done that, Mrs. Fraser. Did you? Very. Has anything happened? I think she's been at the carrot juice. Oh. I've come up to make one thing quite clear, which is that what I do here, and as a favor to the vicar, I might add, is a very small part of a very considerable repertoire.
But that was a fun show.
Yeah. So, did you like being up on stage?
Sure.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love to play. I loved to play, and I love to play music. So there you are. I grew up on movie musicals, and Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. You know, I favored Roy Rogers. He was handsomer. But from then it went on through the 40s to all the movie musicals that were so very well attended and well done. And I thought that's what life was really like.
Do you have certain music that you like? Certain type, more classical, more than?
Well, I like
movie
it
or
all.
what?
I like it all. But if I'm going to sit down at home, I usually have my Bach up there on top of the piano. My brother wanted to play, but he didn't want to take lessons, so he bought a course that said how to play the piano in 10 easy lessons.
It wasn't quite so easy, huh?
But he loved music and he loved to sing, and after he was an adult out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, he took lessons, singing lessons, you know, and he had a guitar. He left his guitar here, so, you know, there was a love of music. I can't say my dad was. He was a hunter-fisher person.
Just wondering, what keeps bringing you back to helping, volunteering for BCT?
Well, Mike Walsh calls, will you play for the musical? Will you play for the musical this summer? Or will you play for this, or will you play for that? And that's what gets me back. Mike Walsh does it. He keeps me back at the piano some way or other. If I can't do the musical, why, then there's something in chamber chorus. So I just have to give him credit for pulling me back in, oh yes, you can do this. And so, yeah.
Do you really think you need to be pulled in?
Well, you have to be asked,
Uh,
yeah. And sometimes it depends on how lazy I feel. But no, I love it. I do. I love playing. I just love playing the piano when there are other people. When you practice at home, you're solitary. And you have to do that. But then you come and there are people. And first there are singers. And then, lo and behold, something magical happens and the rest of the orchestra comes in. And then it's a whole different thing. And all these people are so great. I've never met any of those orchestra people who weren't wonderful and friendly, and so we do have a lot of fun together and cheer each other on. It's really the people, whether it's the performers, you get to meet the performers and all the orchestra. So it's the people really that make the Buffalo Community Theater, I think.
What would you say to somebody to entice them to get involved with Buffalo Community Theater?
Probably just what I've said to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun and it does take time. But once you try it,
You get hooked.
you get hooked. Yeah, that's usually what happens, isn't it? Yeah. I noticed, I was looking through the programs and Don Schmidt's name was in a lot of the performances in those beginning programs. You were there. You just get hooked. Yeah. And the people I admire are the people who I especially admire are the ones who build the sets and paint the sets, and they don't get a lot of credit from the audience. We just expect them to do that, but they do a terrific job.
Yep, they sure do. Well, we thank you, Gail, and once again, really thank you for the contribution that you've made. Without people like you, there wouldn't be any BCT. And we're just honored to be able to recognize you, and thank you so much, for all that you've done.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to be part of this whole project, and I'm thrilled to see it growing. It's wonderful.